Hey everyone, this is your stimulus update, second stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Friday, July 24th. In this video, I'm going to discuss the latest on the second stimulus check as well as the Senate stimulus proposal that's being discussed right now. Later on in this video, I'm going to discuss, for those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and VA benefits, and haven't received your first stimulus check, and for anyone else that hasn't received their first stimulus check. First off, I want to say I really appreciate all of you that watch my channel, and especially those subscribers that have joined my community. I couldn't be here without you, and it wouldn't be worth it if you guys weren't here. So I really appreciate you guys subscribing and those of you that watch my videos. If you want to hear about outlandish stimulus proposals that get your hopes up but will never happen, this isn't the channel for you. But if you want accurate, clear stimulus updates, please consider subscribing. And if you find this content helpful, I would appreciate it if you like this video so that YouTube will share this video with others. With all that said, let's talk about the Senate stimulus proposal and the second stimulus check. Yesterday I reported that the AP was reporting that the next stimulus proposal was set to be revealed yesterday. But I also said, don't hold your breath. Well, guess what? Senate stimulus proposal was not unveiled yesterday, and it's been pushed back until next week. The Chicago Tribune reports it was originally to be released Thursday morning by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, but he instead hosted an unscheduled meeting with Mnuchin and White House Acting Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and delayed the planned release of the proposal until next week. Initially, the Senate talked about breaking up the next stimulus packages into multiple packages and proposals that could be approved individually. They wanted to do this so that the most time-sensitive pieces would be approved and then they could deliberate and work on the rest of everything else for the next stimulus packages. However, the House of Representatives quickly shot down this, and even Nancy Pelosi said regarding breaking up the stimulus into multiple bills, we cannot piecemeal this. So now they're back to both blaming each other for the delays in the stimulus check, both saying that the other chamber of Congress is holding up the bill. Honestly, they're acting like a bunch of little children right now, pointing the finger at each other and blaming each other. I don't understand how they don't realize that so many people are struggling, so many people are out of work, so many people don't have money to pay for food, to pay for housing, or anything else. People are struggling right now. Just get something passed. The $600 per week unemployment benefit that's been part of the CARES Act is set to expire the end of this week. With the delays in approval of this stimulus package in the Senate, it looks like there's going to be a lapse in coverage for those of you that are on unemployment. The Senate proposal should include an extension of these unemployment benefits, but probably at a lower rate. As far as how much that unemployment bonus is going to be, I've heard anything from $100 per week up to $400 per week, but also they've said that they don't want it to be any more than 100% of the salary or income that people were making before they lost their jobs. It also appears like the payroll tax cut that had been proposed is also going to be left out of the Senate bill. Apparently, a lot of senators didn't like the idea of the payroll tax cut and knew it wasn't going to be passed, and so they left it out completely. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told CNBC the president's preference is to make sure we send out direct payments quickly so that in August, people get their money. That goes along with the timeline that I've been saying of the best case scenario for the second stimulus check to be released sometime late in August. However, that timeline is currently in jeopardy with the delays on the Senate proposal being pushed back to next week. As far as a second stimulus check goes, it does sound like the next stimulus check is going to happen as part of the next stimulus proposal, and it's going to be $1,200 for individuals. The House, the Senate, and the Trump administration all seem to be on board with this second stimulus check, and all indications are that it will be $1,200 just like the first stimulus check. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said that they are looking at the same eligibility requirements as the first stimulus check of $1,200. This would mean that those that are single are eligible for $1,200 if they make less than $75,000 per year, and couples that make less than $150,000 per year are eligible for $2,400. In addition to this, those that are claimed as dependents and under the age of 17 would receive $500 as well. Those individuals on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and VA benefits would be included if this is the final proposal for the stimulus check. The hope is that if they keep the requirements the same as the first stimulus check, that they will be able to get payments out much quicker because they've already done it one time. Obviously, this isn't helpful for those of you that still haven't received your first stimulus check, as you're still waiting for that first stimulus check. But once they get that figured out, then it should go out quickly for anyone that has received their first stimulus check. What is also not clear is if they're leaving out those that are age 17 and up and claimed as dependents on someone else's taxes. For the first stimulus check, those people were completely left out and left behind. The HEROES Act, passed by the House of Representatives back in May, included provisions for $1,200 for individuals that were claimed as dependents on someone else's taxes, no matter what age they were. That proposal, however, stalled in the Senate, so we don't know if that provision of dependents getting $1,200, like the HEROES Act, will happen in the next stimulus package. In addition to money for adult dependents, the HEROES Act also included a provision that back child support could not take the next stimulus payment. This is still yet to be decided, and I haven't heard anything about it in the Senate's proposal. But since the HEROES Act came from the House of Representatives may use that as a negotiation in the next stimulus package. In addition to the second stimulus check, there will be $25 billion set aside for virus testing money, $26 billion allocated for vaccines, and $15 billion for research programs at the National Institute of Health. Also, as I reported yesterday, the Senate is looking to allocate $105 billion to help schools and universities reopen. Of that $105 billion, $70 billion of that money would help K through 12 schools reopen, $30 billion would go to colleges and universities, and $5 billion would go to governors to use as they see fit. If schools in a child's area were reopening in the fall, that money would go to the schools. If the schools in the child's area were not reopening in the fall, the money would then go to the parents of those children to send them to other schools or to teach them at home. The Senate proposal will also most likely have liability protections for schools, hospitals, churches, and businesses to protect them from coronavirus-related lawsuits. The proposal is also set to include tax incentives for businesses to hire and retain workers that lost their jobs during the pandemic. This will also help them with money to retool and put in place safety procedures to bring people back to work. It also sounds like there's bipartisan support of a little bit of a change to the PPP loan and extending that, but giving it to businesses with less than 300 employees and a revenue loss of 50% or more, and they would receive a second PPP payment or loan. So that is what is supposed to be in the Senate proposal. Like I said earlier, unfortunately, this Senate proposal still hasn't even been passed yet. It hasn't even been voted on yet. We are waiting once again until next week. I cannot believe this. For those of you that are waiting for your first stimulus check, let's talk about that right now. First off, expats. The IRS said that July 24th, today, would be the day for you to receive your direct deposit of $1,200 for the first stimulus checks, but obviously the IRS has missed many deadlines in the past. The July 24th date was just for those of you that have direct deposit and have a US-based bank account. If you are an expat and you don't have a US-based bank account, the IRS will be mailing you a check, so obviously that's going to come later. If you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or receive VA benefits and do not file taxes, or anyone else that is not required to file taxes and does not file taxes, I suggest you use the non-filers tool. The non-filers tool will enter your information and give it to the IRS so they don't have to wait for the VA or the Social Security Administration to send over your information. If you're still waiting at this point and you still haven't received a payment date in the Get My Payment tool, or you haven't received your stimulus payment at all, then you should fill out the non-filers tool. If you do not file taxes and are not required to file taxes. Remember, if you were claimed as a dependent on someone else's taxes and you're over the age of 17, unfortunately, you are not eligible for the first stimulus check of $1,200. If you are eligible and you haven't received your payment, and maybe you've filled out the non-filers tool or you've received a payment date in the past, consider calling the IRS at the stimulus hotline, 1-800-919-9835. It's a pain to get through. It's a pain to get a hold of a representative that can actually help you. But if you're persistent and keep trying and keep calling, you should get a representative that can answer your question and tell you why you haven't received your first stimulus check. If you received a payment date in the past and you haven't received your stimulus payment, you need to call the IRS and initiate a payment trace for that check. They should be able to track down where that payment went, and if it went into an account that is no longer yours or an account that you don't own, then you can figure out how to get that check to you. But only the IRS can do that over the phone, and so you should call them at the stimulus hotline, 1-800-919-9835. People have had the most luck calling that number early in the morning, so try it early in the morning. But I think they are not manning those phone numbers over the weekend. So try it Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. And earliest in the morning, I think, is the best time to get through. I'm sorry so many of you are still waiting for your first stimulus check. I can't even believe that it's taking this long for the IRS to get you your checks. Let me know what I can do to help. I'm trying my best to get you some information to hopefully get you your first stimulus check. And for those of you wondering about the second stimulus check, it sounds like it is coming. I keep saying this, but we should have more information soon. Unfortunately, I really thought yesterday they were going to pass the second stimulus check and the Senate proposal. But once again, like I said, it's been pushed back until next week. Next week, if they don't finalize it next week, then there's pretty much no chance of them finalizing it before that August 7th deadline. I do think they'll get something passed next week. It sounds like they have been deliberating with the House of Representatives so that maybe they can get this stimulus package, something that the House agrees to as well. And then once it's agreed to in the Senate, then it can be passed quickly in the House. I'm hopeful that that's the case, but I've been very disappointed in the past with how quickly they move, or basically how slowly they move. Thank you once again for watching. I do really appreciate you guys for watching my videos and for subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, just subscribe. I would appreciate it if you do so. And if you enjoyed this content and found it helpful, please like this video so that YouTube will share it with others. Thank you once again, and I will talk to you again soon.